Well, the week has barely got going and it's another nasty one, I'm afraid, folks. If you haven't already looked at the markets or your portfolios today, may I advise you not to do so. You won't like what you see. So, on top of all the lousy macro news that's been floating around, we also have a crypto-specific reason for the latest sell-off, and its name is Celsius. Now, chances are you're familiar with Celsius. It's a centralized lending and borrowing platform that's been around since 2017, and it works like this. Users deposit crypto assets on the Celsius platform and earn decent rates of interest on them, or they can use them as collateral for loans. Now, if they choose, they can also buy Celsius's native Cell token, which gives them access to higher interest tiers and better borrowing rates, among other things. And for context, Celsius's main competitors in its field are Nexo and BlockFi, and they both work in a similar way. Now, behind the scenes, Celsius takes these user deposits and loans them out to other entities, so institutions, crypto exchanges, DeFi protocols, etc., at higher rates of interest than it offers its users. Celsius then pockets the difference between what it receives in interest from those it lends to and what it pays out to its users. Now, back in May, Celsius had $12 billion in assets under management and around 1.7 million users. Both figures, especially the first one, are being revised rapidly downwards as we speak. So, early on Monday morning, Celsius released a statement which said, quote, "Due to extreme market conditions, today we are announcing that Celsius is pausing all withdrawals, swap and transfers between accounts. We're taking this action today to put Celsius in a better position to honour over time its withdrawal obligations." Now, I'll leave a link to the full statement in the video description if you want to read it later. So, as you can imagine, this has caused turmoil in the crypto market and panic in the Celsius community. Now, at this point, I'd normally quote you the BTC and ETH prices for a bit of context, but well, take a look yourselves if you dare. And needless to say, the Cell token itself is in freefall. So essentially, Celsius is facing a liquidity crisis. As the market has declined over the past few weeks, users have been withdrawing their funds, either to self-custody them or to sell them. Now, the problem for Celsius is that not all of its assets are readily to hand. It has a lot of staked ETH, ST-ETH, that it can't liquidate without incurring large haircuts. And the value of this staked ETH has also declined because investors are worried that Ethereum's merge is going to be delayed. This is because the difficulty bomb was pushed back by a few months. Now, this has caused many to speculate that Celsius wouldn't be able to honour withdrawal requests from its users, which only made more users request more withdrawals. In other words, a bank run.
What do you mean the bank is out of money?
Insolvent? You only have enough cash for the next 3 customers! Hey, what's this?
Now, rumours that Celsius could be in trouble have been floating around for a few days now, despite co-founder Alex Mashinsky insisting all was well. And this became harder to believe when it became clear that Celsius was transferring large amounts of BTC and ETH to exchanges like FTX. Now, there's also the fact that Celsius has incurred some big losses over the past year. It was exposed to terror, yep, there's the T word, and also lost money in the Badger DAO hack and the Stakehound fiasco. So, its war chest will have been looking pretty bare even before the last few days. Now, the fact that Celsius has now suspended withdrawals entirely hardly inspires confidence that it has the necessary funds to hand, but for now, all we can do is hope that it can manage to liquidate enough capital to meet its obligations to users. In this context, it's kind of easy to see why the market is hemorrhaging on this news. And as happens in crypto at times like this, many are now turning their guns on Celsius and highlighting its failures as it struggles to survive. As with Terra, it's clear that the structure was not as sound as many assumed it was. But this isn't just a case of greenhorn retail investors getting burned by something that all right-thinking pros have avoided. Celsius has heavy institutional backing, including from at least one government pension fund. So, lots of smart money is feeling the pinch too. In short, it never rains but it pours. As inflation and interest rate rises hammer all asset markets, it becomes clear that even some of the big players are overexposed. And it's hard to find any positives in a situation like this, and my main hope right now is that Celsius's users are not left out of pocket. But if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you will know that we've always been at pains to point out that while the opportunity to earn yields in crypto can be pretty cool, it's not without risk. Self-custody is absolutely vital, and you should never have all your funds on one platform or in one place. The risks are just too great, as current and recent events have shown. So, I for one am going to be sitting tight, hodling like crazy and waiting to see how this all pans out, because there aren't really any other options at the moment.